We all compete for labor into different degrees of level of professionalism and the kind of quality of individual we're trying to bring in. But we all compete for labor. And retention is one of the most important metrics that we can track in our business. The amount of money that it takes to recruit and train and put in place somebody that is a high performer. High performers, they're the ones that drive our business. So replacing high performers is very hard to do.
Tell us a little bit about your retention strategy.
How do you, as a CEO, with a key metric of retention, how do you think about that? How do you foster it? How do you create that challenge and turn it into a competitive advantage?
There's several tiers in our business, or what I would call almost two different businesses that are going on here. One is we're a classic franchise company that, as you just described, is a little more focused towards we would call B2B, which means we are looking for ideal candidates to come in and be business owners. And so they come in and be business owners. We have another business, which is obviously our businesses in our communities that our franchisees operate, and that is more B2C. The retention goes across all spectrums here. It could be anywhere from what we do at our corporate office here to make sure that we have the employees necessary to support franchise owners and have high performers. I'm a big believer in A players. I'm a big believer in going out and doing that. Quite frankly, I personally recruit the people that I want to bring into my company. I go to them one-on-one and make sure they hear from the CEO of the company that they can be a good fit for us and there's a future here for them. So that's important from my standpoint. And we continue to onboard really high quality people. Once they're here, it is ultimately about a lot of the same things that happen even at the consumer level or at the client level, which is you have to have the right kind of culture and the right kind of fit. You have to be very transparent in how you deal with your employees. You have to acknowledge them in what they do, and you have to give them, ultimately, if they choose, a career path. And if you do those things and you manage properly and you lead properly, the rest of the good things will follow. But I can tell you the biggest challenge that we deal with in our entire industry, most industries, is retention, really almost at sort of the very ground level, on the front lines of the business. That's a big thing. I don't care if you're B2B or B2C. For us, it all starts the minute they put in an application. It starts there. Now, hopefully they have seen us and we've recruited properly and they come in, but it's warm welcomes. It's onboarding quickly. Once they're here, making sure the training is really solid, training them properly, and then ongoing training, because this is something that they want. And we're talking about caregivers here. Regular check-ins, making sure that you're checking in with your team, your staff. Make sure that feedback loop is going constantly, not ignoring them. It's very purposeful. Celebrating wins. It's what we do every single week in our corporate business, and our franchisees do the same thing, is celebrating wins constantly. Flexible schedules. Again, as a retention point, some companies only want people to work in their business, in their headquarters. And what I have found is a tremendous recruitment tool and retention tool is being open to remote work. And half of my team is remote right now. And would I love for them to be here? Great. But you know what? The best talent in the world doesn't live here. And they don't want to live here in Minneapolis. So we make sure that we have a really good system in place for our team members that don't work out of our headquarters. Really super important. But it comes down to open communication. It comes down to, I haven't talked about pay yet,
Right.
Which oftentimes, as long as you're competitive, isn't the number one issue on everybody's list in terms of retention. But there are those obvious things that are important, like pay and benefits and bonuses and all these things that come into play. But the big things that I just mentioned, Steve, team bonding, team building, culture, purpose-driven work, a path, training, all these things are critical to retention.
It's interesting because I do a podcast that's in the HR and talent acquisition industry. And we had a gentleman on that chief people officer, and for his thesis in his PhD, he did a study and he proved what we all know is right and true, that if we focus on employee engagement, that translates into better retention, better experiences for our customers that then translate into more revenue for the company. He actually proved that. And we all know we innately know that it's true, but nobody ever that I heard of has actually proven that before. And so I love what you're talking about here.